Draw. Welcome to the Untap Upkeep podcast. I'm Nick, and I think Oko should be played as a legal commander.
And I'm Jason, and I attack you for 3. Do you block?
I also take back what I said about Oko. I mean, Planeswalker commanders are fine, but it's Oko, come on.
Elks.
Elks.
So today's topic is our favorite Commander Legends commanders.
As you've probably seen, Commander Legends is coming out very, very soon. And, hey, that's my first very, very.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you say really, really. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter. But yeah, the Commander Legends spoilers have been coming out for the past couple days, or maybe
weeks.
Yeah, weeks. And the first couple I wasn't super excited about, but as time passed, I mean, I've been really excited.
It's going to be a really good set. If you haven't bought it, buy it. I don't care if you can't afford it. Buy it.
If you have the option to, definitely draft it over buying, bulk packs like.
Nah, hoard them for yourself. Who cares about drafting?
I just feel the devil and the angel on my shoulder here. But anyways, so we'd like to highlight a couple of the cards that we find enjoyable and would like to build for some, maybe not build, but I'm planning on building some of them.
Cool.
For our next play group game.
Dab.
All right, before we get started, it's time for our flavor text of the day. The name of the card that we've chosen is Augmenting Automaton from Aether Revolt.
When you have taught an automaton how to build others of its kind, it is a small step to make it build itself.
Pretty relevant for what we're about to do.
Building.
The commander that I'd like to talk about, or the first one rather, is probably the one I'm going to be building. It's also an uncommon. It doesn't have partner. It is Arami of the Dead Tide. Merfolk! We got the Merfolk commander prof. We did it. So Arami is really good. It works with the new mechanic, which is Encore. If you don't know what Encore is, there are a lot of creatures in this set that have an effect on them that says Encore. You pay the cost, and if it's in your graveyard, you exile it. You make tokens. You put tokens on the board equal to the number of opponents you have that are a copy of the card that had Encore, and they gain haste. At the end step, you sacrifice them. A lot of those cards are a little overcosted on their Encore effects. I mean, they're still really good, but sometimes, maybe the rate isn't great because, rarity or the card is needed to be balanced for draft.
It's a new mechanic.
It's a new mechanic, so there's,
Gotta make sure it's not OP.
Yeah. Arami of the Dead Tide taps and you exile cards from your graveyard equal to the number of opponents you have, and then you basically choose a creature in your graveyard and give it Encore until end of turn, but the Encore cost is equal to its mana cost. So it's basically almost like giving your creature flashback out of the graveyard.
Pretty much, yeah. And Myriad at the same time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fun ways you can play around it. I like the flexibility with this card. It's in Dimir colors, so you get the kind of the control. You get the control aspect of the deck building. But you get access. Anything that hasn't entered the battlefield, or like a dies trigger, or a leaves the battlefield trigger.
Or just a big boy that you want to have haste.
Yeah, or just a big hasty creature that has an attack trigger. All of those are really good. So you can play stuff like Ravenous Chupacabra, which is 4 mana. You kill 3 things. Sounds great to me. Gary, or as normal people call it, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which isn't as fun. But he's very, very good in this deck because you drain a minimum of 6
from times 3, so 18.
Yeah, you drain a minimum. You would gain 18, which is very strong. You could play stuff like Kokusho, which is also kind of fun because while it sacks to the legend rule, which means you get the instant gratification on 2 of them, assuming you're playing a 4-player game. So 2 of them will die, and that's 10 damage to everyone.
Gain
30. Then you end your turn. The last one dies because it has to sacrifice. You gain another 15. So ultimately, you gain 45 life, and you deal 15 to all your opponents.
Nobody should be cloning Kokusho. That's not fun.
I mean, that's why I play Rite of Replication.
Yeah.
But you could also play the Primordial, so Sepulchral Primordial or Diluvian Primordial to just take stuff out of other people's graveyards and just have a bunch of card advantage. You can play the Gear Hulks, so Torrential Gear Hulk or Noxious Gear Hulk, to destroy creatures, gain life, to flashback spells out of your graveyard without having to pay the mana cost. You have a lot of fun workarounds, I guess you can call them.
And it's just there's just a lot of impactful advantage things you can do, and you're not even playing a card. You're exiling a card that you've already lost, essentially.
And you can also, I think this is my favorite part, is that the cards that you're generally copying with Arami are good on their own. You don't have to, like, oh, I have to jump through this hoop and that hoop to make sure I get the Encore trigger. Mm-hmm. You can play it and then sack it, or you can have a mill strategy and mill yourself, or mill everyone else.
Or like a draw-discard strategy where you're just drawing a lot of effects that make you draw a card, discard a card to kind of stack your graveyard with cards you need.
Yeah, you just loot through it and kind of filter out to what you need to get, put it in the graveyard, you cast it with Arami. You only have to cast it once, you don't have to cast it and then kill it. But, I mean, I'm going to play Ravenous Chupacabra in most decks that I can in black because, I mean, you can sack it, you can recur it. It's just a good card, but being able to cast it for 4 with Arami after it's been put in the graveyard and kill 3 things, that's very strong.
Very, very. Really, really.
Very, very.
So the first commander that I have on my list is Rebek, Architect of Ascension. Rebek is a 4-mana 3/4 with partner, so she can be played with somebody else that has partner. And artifacts you control have protection from each converted mana cost among artifacts you control. So the way I want to build this is I'm going to play a bunch of artifact creatures with varying CMCs, including tokens, so that basically none of my artifact creatures can be blocked, and they're all buffed with various anthems, because there's a ton of artifacts that kind of give all of your creatures extra power, and kind of just evade my way into the win.
Yeah. I really like that, especially with like all of the Commander Legends stuff, that they didn't go with like the Battle Bond style partner. They went with just the original partner rather than partner with, because it gives it more flexibility. If you're not familiar with what Commander Legends is, it's a product meant to draft Commander so that you can just sit down, open packs, and play with your friends or with your at your local game store. So it's kind of nice that there's some flexibility there. And it's an uncommon, too.
And it is an uncommon, so you're more likely to pull it. So a couple of the cards that I want to highlight that I would put in this deck is the partner that I want to partner it with is Silas Wren. Silas Wren is really good at recurring your artifacts, and he is a nice death touch blocker, too.
It's also in Esper colors, which means you can run stuff like Sidri, you can run Thopter Sword combo in it.
Yeah. You can run, like, Wishing Well. There's a lot of blue artifacts that sacrifice themselves to do things, and so you'll be able to recur those back with Silas Wren.
It also gives you access to, like, Whir of Invention, Fabricate, some of the blue artifact tutors, along with, like, Academy Ruins to recur things. You got a lot more flexibility, especially with, like, card draw and removal in those colors.
And then some other cards that would run is vehicles. Vehicles are really nice because there's a lot of good vehicles that have effects, such as Smuggler's Copter, Aether Sphere Harvester, that when they have protection and you crew them, they can do a lot of crazy things and get in for a lot of damage. In addition, Steel Overseer to just buff all of your artifact creatures is a really, really nice add. And Treasure Hunter as well to kind of get extra card advantage. And if Treasure Hunter has protection from everything, you can kind of wait to let him die on your own terms when you really need that card, rather than just sacrificing him at some random point in time.
There's also Aethersworn Canonist, which just slows everyone down.
Yeah, Aethersworn, and it's really hard to get rid of because it has protection from CMC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, assuming that you can get all that stuff on the board.
And also, you're going to be playing mostly artifacts, so it doesn't really hurt you that much, so it's not a symmetrical effect for you for the most part if you build your deck around it.
Yeah.
My other commander that I have chosen from Commander Legends that I really like is Hans Eriksson. Now,
everyone's favorite bearded brethren.
I thought that was Stang.
True. And his twin.
Anyways, Hans Eriksson is extremely flavorful, and some people think he's not very good. I don't think he's...
You said he's flavorful. Have you tasted him? He does not look like a tasty guy.
He looks like he has good, but he looks like he has good taste. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here. So in the Hans Eriksson deck, he's a 1/4 for 4 in Gruul colors. When Hans Eriksson attacks, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you put it on the battlefield tapped and attacking the defending player or planeswalker they control. Otherwise, put that in your hand. When you put a creature on the battlefield this way, it fights Hans Eriksson. That is why it is flavorful. Oh, we love Google Images. But, so with Hans Eriksson, you can play cards that... You're going to obviously play cards that give him indestructible. Like Darksteel Plate. You can play, like... Couldn't you bounce him with, like, Tamer Sabertooth?
Yeah.
And you just get the free swing in. Then, as cards that you cheat in, you're going to play stuff like Atali.
Apex Altasaur.
Apex Altasaur is fantastic because it just clears out blockers. You can play the new Apex Devastator and Cascade 4 times. You can play Enrage creatures.
That is also a very good thing with him.
So, like, we mentioned Apex Altasaur, but another good option would be, like, Ripjaw Raptor, which draws you a card. Let's see here.
Polyraptor.
Polyraptor's really good. Silverclad Ferocidons has got to be one of my favorite. It's 7 mana with 5/5, I believe. And when it's dealt damage, each opponent sacrifices a permanent. Thanks for that.
I tried to hold it in.
You're getting really, really into the spirit of Hans Eriksson. But yeah, you get a lot of the really fun Enrage triggers. You can also go along with just big, stompy creatures that you're just cheating in. You don't even have to let Hans Eriksson live. You can just let him get killed by the Lurgoyf. For those of you who know lore, you know that you'll get that. But
I didn't get it.
Plus, it's in Gruul colors, so I mean, chances are you can, turn 1 Llanowar Elves,
Smash.
Turn 2, turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 just ramp, and then turn 3 Hans Eriksson give it haste, cheat something in. There's a lot of ways to do that kind of stuff in the color combo, and it just sounds kind of fun to me.
It really is.
Especially for Jason, even though this is like the one Gruul commander he doesn't want to build.
It's a 1/4. I only play things that have like 10 power.
I mean, you will be playing stuff with 10 power.
But jokes aside, he's a good commander. You should build him.
He's a good commander.
So the next commander on my list is Bellevie, Corrupted Observer. Bellevie is a 2/2 for 2, which reads, at the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds 2 colorless mana for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. So on the first thing you think is, okay, so this card is going to incentivize my opponents to attack other opponents to gain mana. So this is a really good card to start with because I'm not going to get attacked early. I probably won't get attacked late. So I will have a nice padded life total going into the late game. The second thing is, holy cow, you can get a lot of mana with this card.
You can get like 6 mana on turn 2.
On a lot, yeah.
Because you can turn 1 Vicious Conquistador, turn 2 Bellevie, swing with it, you have 6 colorless.
So yeah, so cards like Pestilence, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, Sanctum of Stonefangs to deal 1 damage on like an upkeep trigger or by paying a mana to get 6 mana is really, really good. And then, once you have that 6 mana, what are you going to do with Nick? What do you play? You can play Karn Liberated. You can play any of the... if you have... I mean, you're going to have untapped lands, because chances are you're not going to have cast anything. Mm-hmm. Especially because you can swing with, one of your dinky 1/1s. Plus, it's in Golgari colors, so, I mean, it's not like you're not going to get it back. But... You know what else you can play with colorless mana? Eldrazi. Get them Emrakul's
and Kozilek's
getting there. Well, you didn't get there fast enough. I was really excited.
Well, I mean, you know who will get there fast enough?
Mowu.
Bellevie. Bellevie will get there fast enough.
And so I'm curious to see what... I know that we talk more on the casual side of things on this podcast, but I'm curious to see how this card does in a competitive setting, because it does ramp your opponents, but it ramps you disproportionately.
But also, yeah, I mean, that's true. I see it kind of... To me, I see it as like a Golgari Edric, where it has an effect that decentivizes being hit, but either what's going to happen is either they're going to go, oh, Bellevie's on the board, kill it, or they're going to go, I need mana, I'm going to smack someone else so I can get mana, then I'm going to kill it. And of course, you're in Golgari, you have options to protect.
You can ramp.
You can regenerate.
Yeah, easily.
Easy. You can tutor. It's also a zombie elf, which both of those typings are extremely strong.
And they're really supported in this set.
So, Bellevie's fantastic. Plus, it's, like you said, 2-mana commander. I mean, if it dies, so what? You use the mana to recast it?
Bellevie, more like Bell Bay.
Alright, Jason. I guess Jason has a thing for zombie elves. For the next couple segments, if the sound quality is bad, I apologize. My mic died in the middle of recording, and I had to go to my backup. So, yeah, back to the podcast. The last commander that I chose to talk about is Hamza, Guardian of Arashin?
Something like that.
Something like that. It's a 6-mana 5/5 in Celestia, so 4, a green, and a white for a legendary elephant warrior. It's kind of nice to have a legendary
Elephant tribal, here we come.
This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, this is great. I'm really excited. It's also an uncommon, so, I mean, I seem to be on the uncommon train today. But I really, really like this.
That just shows you the power level of the set.
The fact that it's in the colors that already support +1/+1 counters and, tokens and big creatures and whatever you want in Selesnya. And now you have a commander that not only costs basically 2 mana when you cast it, because you're probably going to have a ton of creatures with +1/+1 counters on it, but it also reduces everything you cast after it, which is awesome. So I see this deck running stuff like Hardened Scales, Cather's Crusade.
Oh yeah.
Some of even Retreat to Kazandu, which I normally don't think is that great of a card. It's 3 mana landfall, put a +1/+1 counter or gain 2 life.
Did I just hear a Mowu calling?
I mean, hey, Mo'u's pretty good. Yeah, Mo'u's good. But it just has so many ways to almost cheat. I guess you can call it cheat in big creatures.
Get some Eldrazi in there. Cast them for free.
Yeah, cast free Eldrazi. In my brain, it kind of feels like Animar a little bit.
But kind of with a different strat.
Yeah, instead of just making, one creature with +1/+1 counters on it, it's kind of going wide with it, which is very Selesnya. So I really like that. I like that it also is flexible in how you take the deck. You can either play a bunch of the creatures I'm trying to think. What's one of the creatures that has 0 power? There's creatures that have 0 power and toughness that enter with +1/+1 counters on them.
Walking Ballista.
Okay.
Triskelion.
Fair enough.
Pentavis.
Forgotten Ancient. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Creatures like that just have +1/+1 counters on them. And there are a decent amount of smaller creatures like Fertilid or Spike Feeder, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that have +1/+1 counters on them. They just are inherently decent cards that are in the color combo that you don't even need to go out of your way to place counters on things when they just have them. And then that way you can build your deck around that. Or you can build your deck in the other way with Archangel of Thune, Cather's Crusade, anything that just puts mass amount of counters on things, and then just cast Hamza and just go ham with your hand.
Ham with Hamza.
Hamza.
One interesting way that I thought you could take this deck is the land animation route. Play Nissa, who shapes the world, put 3 +1/+1 counters on your land. Not only are you buffing your lands and getting more bodies, but you're also giving Hamza more fuel in the process.
Ooh, I like that. That is cool. But yeah, I think Hamza is a really interesting commander, and since it is an uncommon, it's readily available, just like Arami too. So for all of those of you that are interested in building something in a color combo that you like, I'd say try one of those.
Get your trunks ready. Alright, the next commander I want to talk about is Krark the Thumbless.
Sure you heard about this one.
Krark the Thumbless is a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you flip a coin, just like Krark always does. If you lose that flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win that flip, copy the spell, and you may choose new targets.
So, with that losing the flip thing, if you lose the flip and you return the spell to your owner's hand, it does not resolve. The spell goes back to your hand. So it's almost like you never,
And so On the surface, that is like, why would I want to do that? Because now when I cast a spell, there's a 50% chance it doesn't resolve. But there's some interesting interactions you can do with that. For example, cast a spell with Storm, like Grape Shot. It'll trigger the Storm for how many times, and you get that many copies on the stack. Then you'll flip the coin for the original one. Hopefully you'll lose, or you can use a card like Krark's Thumb to get extra chances to lose the flip on purpose, bounce it back to your hand, play it again. So Storm is really abusable with him.
He also has partner.
So yeah, and I think that you can really kind of partner him with anyone. I think Krark is a commander where the person that you're partnering him, the commander that you're partnering him with, isn't really necessarily for the effect that they have, but more just using their colors. So I think Timna comes to mind because white and black is really good. They have some really, really powerful instants and sorceries, and Timna can help you draw cards.
You could do Thrasios. You could do Ludovic. If you want to just stay goblins, you could do Vial Smasher, but
Goblin Tribal.
Goblin Tribal.
I think if your play group lets you use silver bordered cards, you gotta go with Krark's Thumb and Krark's Other Thumb, even though I don't think Krark's Other Thumb would do anything.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, he's thumbless, but you should run both of his thumbs. Just
also, if he's thumbless, how is he gonna flip coins?
With I don't know, with his other.
But yeah, I think with that, also cards like Zinder Split, Okon, using some of those, just cards that have coin flip synergy. If you're running black, Rakdos the Showstopper.
You can also run Underworld Breach because if let's say you have a Grape Shot in graveyard, you want that Grape Shot back, and you don't have access to green for a regrowth effect. You can cast Underworld Breach, exile 3 things that you don't really care about. Chances are you're going to have stuff that you don't really care about in your graveyard by that point. And then you would cast your Grape Shot, and let's say you lose the flip. Cool. You paid 2 mana to rebuy a card out of your graveyard in mono red or in whatever color you're playing. And if you win the flip, then you get a cast from your graveyard, which is a win-win.
And then other things this deck really likes is Flashback. Because if you lose the coin flip and it bounces to your hand, now you get to cast it from your hand and cast it from grave again. So Flashback is a really, really abusable mechanic with this card.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I like as much of it. Magic players are really good at seeing something that is supposed to be kind of a downside and just abusing it and making it into something good.
Have you ever wanted to lose a coin flip in your life, Nick?
You can play Molten Birth in this deck.
Now you have a reason to want to lose coin flips. And now it's time to pull from the knowledge pool. Tips to make Commander games more fun and more healthy.
Yo, Jason.
Yo, what?
So, I'm on Discord with you, and you live in Texas, and I'm in Washington, and some people are not going to like that.
You bet they aren't.
But yeah, you live in Texas, and I live in Washington, and I want to play Magic with you, but I don't have a camera, and honestly, I don't even know if I have my cards with me, because maybe I'm at Starbucks or something. How do we play?
Well, there's this little program that we have both found, played, and loved called Cockatrice, named after the old Magic card. I don't even remember what set that's from, but I believe there was a card called Cockatrice.
Ixalan.
It definitely was not Ixalan. So yeah, we'll put a link down in the description. Cockatrice allows you to play with your friends or play with complete strangers in formats such as Commander, Pioneer, Standard, Modern. Basically, you can play whatever you want. You basically find the cards you want to make, put them into a deck. You don't even have to really own the cards. Want to play with Lion's Eye Diamond? Go for it.
But Jason, I don't have any money. How am I supposed to afford cards online? I thought that's the whole thing with Magic Online.
Cards online are just code, and code is not the same as paper, and so code is free.
So Cockatrice is free, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes, it is. So yeah, we'll put a link down at Cockatrice in the description. You guys can make private rooms with passwords so nobody intrudes on your fun, riveting EDH game. And yeah, go play with your friends.
And if you've made it this far and you really want to play some Magic games with us, let us know. Just reach out to us, and maybe we'll get some games in on Cockatrice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course, when we're not drowning.
Or filming the podcast.
So, ultimately, I think the set looks really, really fun.
Oh, yeah. There's some really high-powered cards, and just a bunch of cards that any Commander player would love to have.
It's so powerful, it made me steal Jason's really, really.
Really? You did?
Really. But yeah, there's a ton of really good reprints.
Really good.
Like like Return to Dust. Ignore that. I didn't say that. Rings of Bright Earth, or Hearth,
Staff of Dom.
Scroll Rack.
Yeah.
They're printing
All the partner commanders.
all the partner commanders. Yeah, they're printing the Vows. There's Rakdos, Lord of Riots. They printed a
Muldrotha's back.
Yeah, Muldrotha's back. They printed Austere Command. They printed they printed a bounce land, but for colorless, which is awesome. That's gonna shake up some like
Copper-like decks.
I was
all
just gonna
around
say
the world.
Tron, but that too. Um, but yeah, it looks really fun. I'm really excited. And I hope that you guys are excited too. So let us know in the comments what you guys are building. And if you have any ideas, let us know.
Show us your sick pulls.
Yeah, show us your sick pulls.
I'll
Definitely.
be jealous. I'll salivate over everyone. Not really. I'm not going to salivate on your cards, but I'll send you a picture back of me salivating.
Hopefully he's not salivating on my cards because he might. But anyways.
Hey Nick, what are you doing in Magic the Gathering right now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing too.
Yeah. Before we pass the turn to you, Jason already jumped the gun on this one. He's just so excited about Commander Legends.
Commander.
But yeah, Jason, so what are you doing in Magic?
So I've been taking a hiatus from building, buying
paper,
but mainly Commander. I have a lot of Commander decks that I'm kind of in the middle of like reorganizing my collection and trying to make my decks better, but still keep them budget because I am the budget guy in our play group. And so I've kind of taken to Arena a little bit. I've started picking up a little bit of Historic and trying to make the climb to Mythic. Hopefully, if I have time, I can start streaming on our Untap Upkeep Twitch channel. Link in the description. And yeah, you guys watch me hopefully make it to Mythic. I'm not going to make it to the Invitational thing.
Probably not, but you've been Mythic before. You can do it again.
Yeah.
Especially with the deck that you're playing right now, which is super fun.
Neostorm. Look it up. That's all you need, Neostorm, not the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It's significantly better than the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we're up to, other than, looking at the Commander Legends cards. I'm pretty much waiting to see what I end up pulling out of my box. Maybe we can, if we really feel like it, if you guys want to, maybe we'll stream our box opening. If not, I can always just post pictures.
Oh yeah, we'll post all the pics.
We're probably going to start an Instagram soon, so yeah. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, leave it in the description or directly reach out to us at our email, untapupkeep@outlook.com, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, this has been Untap
Upkeep.
Bye-bye.
Ah!
All right, time to crack some packs. Jason, what pack do you got?
Ixalan.
I have an Aether Revolt pack, and I brought my friend Nathan along. Say hi, Nathan.
Hello.
And what do you got?
I have Double Masters.
All right, let's go. I apologize, but I'm not sorry. All right, let's see what you got. All right, so 9 commons. Ooh. All right, uncommons.
Ooh.
All right, what's your uncommon?
Wild Growth Walker.
I got a Restoration Specialist.
I've gotten a Disciple of the Vault.
I got a Shapers of Nature.
Cogwork Assembler.
Pongify.
Nice. Okay.
Thundering Spineback.
Oh, that's a great card. I got Barricade Breaker.
Cranial Plating.
Oh, I love that. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, Nick!
What did I get?
Pretty good card.
It's pretty good.
Ooh, nice.
I don't know what I got.
Okay.
Alright.
Ooh!
No.
I'll take a Heroic Intervention.
Oh, I got a foil. Jade Guardian.
What did you get, Nathan?
Oh yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, what was your first rating?
So first one was Meddling Mage, and then a Kuldotha Forge Master.
Combo card.
I got a Kapala Warden of Waves.
Oh, I did get a foil, but it was nothing special.
Me too.
What was your foils?
My double foils are Teamer Battle Rage and Golem Skin Gauntlets.
Well, Teamer Battle Rage is pretty good.
And a Mirror Token.
With
And a Mirror Token.
Mirror Toucan Man token.
Toucan Man stand. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye!